What is going on, everybody? 'Tis I, the enigma of the gun airwaves, Mianovich, welcoming you to Season 3 of the Liberal Gun Owners Lens podcast, where unprecedented perspectives are packed into the cargo hold for the LGO Lens spaceship Voyagio.
That's fucking Italian.
Don't believe that evolution is possible with guns and public safety in America? It's already happening, y'all. Minds are evolving. Think guns versus public safety is the only game in town, do ya? Think culture war is the big boss, do ya? Then keep your ass in the past. Everyone else, all aboard! Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Liberal Gun Owners Lens podcast. It is Mianovich, and boy, you should see what I'm looking at right now. A picture of a guy who needs a shave and a shower. I just want to throw up a little tidbit for you guys today from a recent interview that I did with Alessandro Padovani. If you don't know Alessandro, he is a well-established and known figure in the lib gunning reality, as he has done a lot of training sessions with the Liberal Gun Club reality, amongst other things like teaching through his own company. He is an established and accomplished security professional, a friend of mine, a friend of this podcast. So I did a full interview with Alessandro for the Mang Dojo podcast, and I'm going to be publishing that on both the Mang Dojo podcast and the Liberal Gun Owners podcast in here in a short bit within the next week. And but I wanted to get this short little clip up for you guys. I wanted also to tell you, make sure that you remember that when I'm mirroring something from the Mang Dojo, which I will be doing occasionally, the context over there is we are defining things relative to men's issues, men's health, and men's responsibility. That's the vibe. So you will hear me say man and men a lot whenever I mirror these things. There will be excessive sausage gravy, and that's just a part of it. But I thought that this little section is important for everybody to listen to prior to me publishing the full version. It is about the times we are in, and one of the many things that we should be doing with our mindset. So check it out, this little nugget of gold from Alessandro, and I will see you all soon. You're looking at the way the world is. We started off with this. It's alarming. It's concerning. Men who are in the center to left reality. Should they be thinking about self-defense? Yeah, should they be? I'm just going to say, I think we would both agree that we would both say all people should always be thinking about that at all times. That's the baseline. But now, specifically, men. Should men be thinking about that now, perhaps more than before?
I believe so, right? I think learning good skills is never bad in a sense. But when we're talking about the particular historical moment, I believe so, right? Especially on our side of things, because unfortunately, the specter of a descent into a more authoritarian system. And if everything else fails, I think we need to be able to offset that view. And unfortunately, as we've seen in history and so on, having the capacity not only to speak your word, but defend your right to speak your word is important, right? And again, in the political discourse, like all this talk on the right about civil war, about this, about that, has had the opportunity to develop as like it's free, right? The liberals don't have guns, like, if you want it, we can take it, right? So I do believe that in this case, an armed society is a more polite society, right? If one side is aware that the other is prepared to defend themselves, we may stick to the civics, to the laws, to the courts, instead of trying to accelerate something because we think it's going to be an easy win, right? Personally, I come from, if you want to drill a little bit deeper, but I come to teaching self-defense from a non-violent philosophy, right? Growing up and so on, travel this and that, study different religion, philosophies and so on. And I do believe that, ultimately you do conquer hatred with love. Like you can't conquer hatred with hatred. But at the same time, we need to make a differentiation, right? I think nonviolent movements, nonviolent and peaceful protest is important for societal change. It is less effective for interpersonal violence, right? When you want to attack me outside the restaurant, I don't have time to convert you, right? And I need to protect myself, right? So, but a lot of independent movements, a lot of the rights were won by peaceful protest, right? But when the time arrives where the narrative is, hey, we are ready to use violence to get what we want, then I need to be ready to be prepared to defend it. And obviously, not only that, I think, emergency medical skills are very important, right? Self-defense goes hand in hand with the ability to fix something, right? Because if you're using violence, chances are violence is being used against you or your loved one. So if something happened to you or your loved one, you need to be, there's no point if you shoot the bad guy, but can stop the bleeding of your wife, right? So you need to bring them both together. And again, the more we learn, so I'm sure you're familiar with, what self-efficacy is, right? The sense that we are able to respond effectively to whatever problem we have at hand, right? Response efficacy is the belief that the responses you've learned for that problem will work. Self-efficacy is the belief that you will be able to apply those responses, right? So let's say you're an average person, you live with your family, you have a couple of kids and so on. If you learn new skills, like if you learn how to defend yourself and your loved one proficiently, and you never have to use it, that will have improved your sense of self-efficacy, your confidence, right? Improving your confidence in your ability to confront problem is good for your mindset, right? It's going to be good in every field of your life. So mindset is an habitual way in which we see and interpret life around us, right? A mindset is based on our experiences, right? So if I never learn to defend myself and I see a bad guy, my mental process and so on are going to go a certain direction. More likely than not, they're going to make me feel less prepared. Therefore, my response efficacy is going to diminish. Therefore, I'm going to be in a victim mindset. If I'm confronted by somebody and I know I can defend myself, now how I deal with that person is on equal ground. It's an equal standing, right? That confidence that I have will allow me to present my argument better or to stand up stronger for my belief system. And that's why, like when I teach classes, generally speaking, I prefer to teach the hard skills first, and then the de-escalation, the verbal technique, the psychology of it. Because if you're focusing just on the de-escalation technique, the verbal judo, as they say, and that fails or is about to fail, now my confidence in using my verbal judo is not going to be good, right? And the other person is going to recognize that. But if I know that if my verbal diffusion, if my avoidance skills fails, I can still take care of the problem physically, mindset, right? How I communicate is going to be different if I'm confident, right? We know communication is like around 10%, the words that I'm using, 30% is your body language. 30% is your tone, and the rest is your body language, right? So if I don't know that I can defend myself effectively, my tone and body language is going to be different than if I know that I can defend myself effectively. And that transfers into all areas of your life. Like knowing that if you are in a car crash and something happens to your loved one, you can have some agency there, you can fix something, it's going to work on your self-confidence. And confidence is not just in one part of your life. Confidence affects your mindset, right? Your mindset is based on your experience. You improve your ability, your experience changes, your mindset changes. But you have to do the work, right? And so, I mean, I may be biased, but I do believe everybody should be able to have the skills necessary to defend themselves and their loved ones, to fix themselves and their loved ones if an accident happens.